Sylvia Schreiber. I will navigate you through our Combibis webinar on bioeconomy communications. It's about 100 and more bio-based products for bio-based living in an exhibition. And the exhibition is called Bioeconomy in Everyday Life, and it will be presented by Boris Mannhardt, who is in the moment in Berlin. Boris is a biologist by training, and he has done his thesis in molecular biology and has managed startups in biotechnology. Now he is the CEO of Biocom. Biocom is a communication agency based in Berlin, and it's specialized in bioeconomy affairs. Boris is also working in the BioStep project, and there they assembled this exhibition, which is currently traveling through Europe and bringing us in a lot of experiences in bioeconomy communication. That's the topic we are dealing in Combibis with. So first slide, please. I will tell you 7 things you should know on the bioeconomy communications with an exhibition first. So the exhibition format with tangible objects. The bioeconomy is still unknown to the broader public, so the communication with appropriate formats is key. Bio-based products in an exhibition can visualize the bioeconomy messages with one shot, because the marketing theory says tangible products are the best messages for unknown things. It can be experienced. The cognitive theory says from the herd we just remembered 10%, but from the visual we may remember up to 60%. Exhibitions are location-based communications, but the supra-local promotion with social media or conventional media draws the audiences. Exhibitions are ideal for target group-oriented communication combined with group learning programs. And these experiences, how to engage the stakeholders with the exhibition, knows Boris the best. Over to you, Boris, please.
Thank you, Sylvia, and good morning, everyone. So yeah, I would like to follow up on these 7 things to know, and I would like to, what I would like to do in the next 20 minutes or so is to share with you our experience that we have with this exhibition, Bioeconomy in Everyday Life. So the first and probably most important thing here to discuss and to look at is the general setting of the exhibition. If I may have the first slide, please. So in the course of the BioStep project, as Sylvia already pointed out, we travel with this exhibition not all across Europe. It's actually 4 different exhibitions that we show. The first one was in Glasgow, Scotland, in October 2016, so last year. Then we had it in spring this year in Italy, actually at 2 different places. You see here a picture from Fenice Park in Padua, and it was also in Brescia. And very nearly it will travel to Bulgaria. It will be shown in the town of Stara Zagora in October this year. We work together with local partners at all of these places, and so the general setup of the exhibition is a little bit like an apartment. And when you go to the next slide, please, you can see it a little better. These are settings of the exhibition that we had outside of the BioStep project. There you can get an impression what it can look like, or what it did look like in settings in the past. So you have sort of different rooms. Of course, this always depends on the place that you show the exhibition in. Is it a a big hall, or is it a smaller tent, or you know, is it some conference center where you have it? But we always try to give it the impression of an apartment where you can recognize different rooms. You have the kitchen, you have a living room, you have a bathroom, you have a garage, and then we place these objects in there that appear like, you know, very normal objects. You can see on these pictures there's always a car tire, there's a bicycle, there's a dress, and so on. So these are apparently normal everyday objects that everyone will easily recognize. However, all of these objects have something, you know, special to it that makes them part of the modern bioeconomy. And if I may have the next slide, please, you will see this is the choice of exhibits. And I will just give you very briefly a few examples here. So when you look at the dress on the left-hand side, it looks like a normal dress. It's a nice soft fabric. And this fabric has actually been made of milk, of waste milk that cannot be sold anymore, that is normally thrown away. But what you can do with that waste milk is to extract the protein of it and spin that into fibers that you can make fabric of. There's another piece of clothing shown. It's a scarf where the tissue or the fabric is made of citrus residues, more precisely orange peels that are leftovers after the orange juice production. And there are fibers in there, and you can also spin them into fabrics. So the armchair that you'll see on the right-hand side, it's made with normal, genuine leather. However, this leather has been tanned using extracts from olive leaves rather than the conventional leather that is normally tanned with heavy metals and other chemicals that are problematic after using them. So it's special waste and has to be treated, especially because it's toxic. And here the natural tannins from olive leaves are being used. So this is another part. It's for a bio-based product where you use bio-based processes to make this product. So it's not the feedstock, the raw material that is necessarily bio-based, but it can also be a bio-based process. When you go to the next slide, please, you can see some examples from the, let's say, food sector, but also this cup on the lower left side. It's a coffee cup that has actually been made of coffee residues, coffee grounds, that can be turned into a sort of bioplastic that is stable for considerably long period of time, and you can even wash it in your dishwasher. But you know, at the end of its life cycle, it can also be biologically degraded. So it's not problematic when it's been thrown away because it's biodegradable. You also see some food examples here. The chocolate with algae. Algae contain some presumably healthy ingredients like omega-3 fatty acids, and this can be used in the food sector to enrich food. Algae has the advantage that they can be grown very in a very sustainable way. You don't need any fertilizer and so on. And on the right-hand side, you see beer, normal beer. It's always a bio-based product, of course. In this special case, it has been treated with enzymes after brewing to remove the gluten and to make it more drinkable also for people who are allergic to gluten and who can otherwise not have beer. The next slide, please, gives you some examples from the bathroom. A face cream where ingredients, antioxidants or so, have been produced in yeast rather than doing a chemical production. A toothpaste that contains bacteria. Normally you use toothpaste to remove bacteria from your teeth, and these special bacteria in this toothpaste, they will form aggregates with the bacteria that you have on your teeth, and so they can be more easily scrubbed away. And then the very classical product of bio-based economy, of bioeconomy, is laundry detergent, which already for years works with enzymes to remove proteins, to remove lipids, to remove starch, and these enzymes can even be optimized. So you take microorganisms as a tool. You optimize special enzymes in them and then use them in the laundry detergent. Optimization in that setting means that you can change the temperature spectrum or temperature optimum for these enzymes, so you can wash your laundry with at lower temperatures, and you can also save the classical tensides and other washing ingredients. And there's a fourth example. If you go to the next slide, please. That's from the garage. Different examples. We have a rust remover here. You can see the tools on the top there. Normally you remove rust using acids, which again can be problematic after use when you discard it. And in this case, the rust remover works with bacterial proteins that have the natural ability to reduce iron oxide, rust, into pure iron again. You have building materials such as wall plugs made of bio-based plastic. You see this bicycle, which is always the most spectacular thing to look at in this exhibition. It's a very lightweight bicycle where the frame has been made out of wooden tubes, so it's not solid wood, but it's also using a high-tech process to turn wood into these hollow tubes that are very stable but still flexible and have a light weight. And last but not least, you can see here a car tire where the rubber does not come from the tropical rubber tree, but is made of dandelions. So a domestic plant that grows abundantly, everywhere, that has no special needs in terms of fertilizers or pesticides or so. Very easy to cultivate, and that also has this rubber substance in the roots that you can use to make car tires. So all of these products are on the market, or at least very, very close to the market. And this is important because it really shows that that bioeconomy and bio-based products are not an abstract concept. They are there, they are real, and you can see them, you can touch them, and you can buy them actually. So now we have a collection of approximately 100 different products that we show in different settings, always depending on the surrounding, on the type of setting, on the place where they are, the regional geographical place, and also on the audience that you address. Of course, these products are not completely self-explaining. They do not completely speak for themselves. You have to explain it. And so if I may have the next slide, please. There are accompanying materials that you always need. So first of all, for every product that we show in the exhibition, we have a explanation panel. Here you see a few examples from an exhibition that we had in France, in Châlons-en-Champagne, just recently. It just gives you a few lines of explanation about this product. Why is this part of the bioeconomy? Is it bio-based? Was a bioprocess used to make it? Is it biodegradable? What is the raw material here, and what is the special property of this product? And the next slide, please. In addition to the explanation panels, you will find the very same information in a brochure that you can take with you. So once you visited the exhibition and you think about it again later on, and you want to find out what was this car tire about, or any other product, you can just refer to the brochure. That gives you the same explanations as on the explanation panels. Yeah, you also see some real brochure examples here. Two are from the Biostep project, the one from Scotland and the one from Italy, and two from different parts. The very right-hand brochure cover is actually a sneak preview for the exhibition that we will have in the European Parliament next week on the occasion of the European Biotech Week. So if you happen to be in Brussels, you're very welcome to visit this exhibition in the European Parliament. The next slide, please. What we did in the Biostep project, in addition to all this printed material and the actual exhibitions on site, excuse me, was to create a virtual exhibition online on the website of the Biostep project, where you can see essentially the same products as we show in the real exhibition, and also giving the same explanations. Why are they part of the bioeconomy? What's so special about them? What is the raw material that has been used? What is the process that has been applied? And so on. So with this, let's say, tool set that we have with the exhibition settings, with the different objects that we choose, and with the accompanying materials, we can actually reach very different audiences, which is the fourth point that I would like to make. And may I have the next slide? Thank you. We tried the setting for really different audiences. As you can see here, these are all real examples that we have made. So we addressed professionals of the bioeconomy. We addressed the really general public, like open days at research institutions. We had school classes with children from really elementary school up to let's say middle grade, high school. We had policymakers here at the exhibitions, and we also tried to reach out to media, including social media. And what we experience is that it all works well. Of course, you have to address these audiences differently. You have to give them a different degree of explanation, but in general, it works for all of these audiences. So may I have the next slide, please? Of course, the people who come to the exhibition and who see those products, they will ask questions, which is good. They should ask questions, and it shows that they really, think about it, and that they, that they are interested in this kind of thing. And I just tried to type down some of those very frequently asked questions. So of course, it's always the question: why is the bio-based product any better than the conventional counterpart? And it's of course important to know and to let the people know that bio-based products are not necessarily more sustainable than their conventional counterparts. You always have to think about what you're doing, and so is it sustainable to have this, let's say, bio-based material that they are made of, the feedstock, or is the bio-based process that you apply actually more sustainable than a normal classical chemical process, and so on. So there is not one single answer to this question that applies for all of those products. But on the case-by-case basis, you can show or try to show people why these products are somehow superior to their conventional counterparts. The second question is very similar, it goes in a similar direction. Is it more sustainable? The products that we chose for the exhibitions, they are more sustainable, at least to our knowledge. It's always a very complex life cycle analysis that you have to do if you really want to measure sustainability. It's not a very easy task, and this is beyond the scope of our BioStep project. But from all the information, or based on all the information that we have and that we can get, these products that we chose are actually more sustainable than conventional products. But this is not always the case for all bio-based products, and you really have to take that into consideration. Yeah, so do those bio-based products have any other properties? Are they somehow superior or maybe inferior to conventional products? This, of course, always also an important question to ask. Then people are interested if those products are already on the market, or when are they expected to be on the market. The price of the product is, of course, very important. Normally people think that bio-based products are more expensive than conventional products. which is true for most of them, but not necessarily for all of them. And then people will also ask about further developments. So what can be expected, what comes next, and so on. So these are some experiences that we made in our exhibition, that this is actually what people ask, or the most frequent questions that they will ask. So the next slide, please. What did we learn from this, or what do we think we learned? So first of all, I really have to stress that the exhibition is an excellent tool. So it's you know, we do communication on many different levels with many different tools, many different ways about bioeconomy. This exhibition is probably the best to really reach out, especially to the general public, to show them what bioeconomy is about. Of course, at any given time, you have only a limited number of visitors that you can reach with this exhibition. But I do believe that this is well, that they really understand the message the best when they look at these objects, when they see them, when they touch them, when they discuss it. So it's probably yeah, the best way to inform people about it. But it takes a lot of effort to do that. So public spaces are very good, of course. We had it in a science center in Glasgow, and also in Italy it was in a science center. And these were actually the places where we reached most people in a given period of time. So in a week you could easily reach several hundred or up to 1,000 people when you're in a science center. So this is why we think this is probably the most favorable place to go. There are other, opportunity driven. There can be other places and other settings where you can show this exhibition, at conferences, at special trade fairs, and so on. They can also be good, but it always depends on the opportunity that you have, and science centers are always there, and so it may be a good approach to use those. An active involvement of people is recommended, meaning that there should somebody be there who knows about these products and who can actively approach the visitors and also respond to the visitors' questions. We did a survey in the BioStep exhibitions, and the survey showed that it's very well perceived, and people really like this exhibition. They like the way that things are being presented, and they think that they learned a lot from this exhibition in a quite short period of time, actually. So it's probably really a good tool to convey the knowledge about bioeconomy. Can you improve the exhibition, or can we improve the exhibition? Yes, certainly we can. So as it is now, it's quite static. It could be more interactive. There could be more things to play around with a tablet. You can have some additional information. We think about augmented reality that you can add to that, so you see the process from the from the original bio-based source, bio-based material to the actual product. You can include videos, which we didn't do so far. So yeah, it could be more interactive. You could have more information about the idea of circular economy and of sustainability as such, which is not clearly explained in the exhibition in its current setting. And of course, you can always add new products, try to find more lifestyle products, more cool things, because these are better recognized by the general public than, let's say, products that they do not have a personal or emotional connection to. So finally, and this is the seventh and last point, the next slide, please. I just wanted to just give a few words about the BioStep project. So it's a 3-year project under Horizon 2020. It started in March 2015 and goes to February 2018. And if you go one further, thank you. So it's a coordination support action, and it has the aim to promote a participative governance of bioeconomy, to engage the general public and stakeholders, such as policymakers, scientists, NGOs, and so on, in a dialogue on the bioeconomy. And it has 9 partners, and this is the last slide. If you go to that, please. 9 partners from across Europe. The coordinator is Ecologic Institute from Berlin, and partners are from the UK, from the Netherlands, from Italy, and from Bulgaria. So, thank you very much for your interest, and I will be happy to answer any question.
Yes, the next slide, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Boris for this really good presentation of a very exciting communication tool, the exhibition with very exciting bio-based products. Thanks a lot. You know, Combibis is about communication, and therefore it's time now to invite you already to our next event, because the exhibition currently is in Brussels. It's built in the European Parliament, and we from Combibis, together with 3 other organizations engaged in bioeconomy, are doing a communication workshop around this exhibition. It will take place in the Brussels Forestry House on 27th of September. In the morning, we do some exercises. We will have some presentations of the European Forestry Platform from Europa Bio and the Bio-Based Industry Initiative, and of course also from Combibis, who will involve the visitors into some practical exercises. And in the afternoon, we just change houses. We go over the Place Luxembourg and visit the European Parliament and the exhibition of bioeconomy in everyday's life. So if you want to join us for this exhibition, today is the latest day to register, because you need Parliament badges if you don't have such ones. So if you decide to follow us for the communication workshop and especially for the exhibition, please take this Google Doc code and register via the Combibis website. You can all find on our website combibis.eu, and there we also will upload this webinar, which is recorded currently live and which will be uploaded to YouTube and on our website. And there you also will have the handouts offered. It's the full presentation which was given by Boris and all the examples inside. It's time for questions, and of course our participants are mostly welcome to ask questions in written procedure. So if you have a question, please type it in the chat function, and Boris and I will try to do our best to give you an appropriate answer. In the meanwhile, I also have a question to Boris. You mentioned that the messages of the exhibition and of bioeconomy were really well understood when they were actively presented. So this means there is an explanation, there is a brochure, there is a panel, there might be some additional comments from the presenters. But did you also have some different experiences with groups and group learning coming to the exhibition? What was the lesson there?
There were groups, especially groups of school children, both in Italy and in Scotland. We had school children. I think the youngest were about fourth graders, elementary school children, and the oldest probably around 10th or 11th grade, high school children. Of course they were there together with a teacher, and there was always somebody there from the science park, people who were specially trained before the start of the exhibition, so they knew all those products, they knew what was special about them and who could answer all these questions. And it was again very well perceived, and the school children were very interested. They really, thought about these products and the implications of having those products or having conventional products instead. I think it also works well in the setting of group learning, but you need a, let's say, moderator, someone who knows the exhibition, someone who knows the products, and who can specifically answer the questions when they come up.
Mm-hmm. So it's actually targeted information or customized information which you have to give complementary.
Absolutely. I mean, when you try to address the general public, I would say there is not the general public. It's different people with very different backgrounds, and they can they have a different knowledge when they come to the exhibition, and their questions can go in very, very different directions. So it's something that you cannot possibly address with just a printed explanation panel. You can only give very basic information there, but you need trained people who can individually answer the questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are there any experiences about media? Did visual media fly, or more the print people? Were there some coverage?
There was some coverage, not that much coverage, unfortunately, I have to say. Actually, the probably best media coverage that we had was just recently outside of the Biostep project, I have to say. when we showed the exhibition at the Foire de Chalon in Chalon, Champagne in France. Because this trade fair there already has considerable media coverage, and they the organizers there also did a great deal to have plenty of media coverage, and was mostly local newspapers coming there. The same was true in Italy, where also some local newspapers had some coverage. We did not see any visual media, no TV teams. Then it's more coverage on the very personal level through social media channels. You saw this one Twitter screenshot that I had on one slide. It's people who visit the exhibition, think that it's interesting, and who will tweet about it. You get that type of coverage every once in a while. Yeah, but it's not frequently taken up by general interest media.
Okay, so maybe it's also some effort to put in to reach the media, and as you said, the best coverage was seen when it was a back-to-back event with a fair where already media are drawn, and then they may be involved and engaged with the exhibition as a plus, as an extra. So this is also a very good lesson learned. My final question, if there are not questions from the audience, I have a final question, Boris. You already touched about the sustainability issue, and consumers and visitors to the exhibition asked this. Would it be an extra information to label some of the products, how much they contribute in terms of carbon footprint savings? Would this be possible? Maybe not for all, but for some, let's say, more not decomplex or simpler products?
Well, it would definitely be a plus for the exhibition. However, this is not an easy task. Because to actually measure the carbon footprint saving, you would need to do a really in-depth life cycle analysis of this product, because you have to look at the feedstock, how it is grown, you have to look at the processes, and of course you have to look at the end of cycle situation. So what happens when you throw the product away, and this is something that takes a lot of effort to take all these aspects into consideration, and this is far beyond the scope of our BioStep project. There are some studies dealing with that, and if we had the numbers for any of those given products, then we would probably include them, or at least think about including them. But it's only very, very few products, and none of those that we have in our daily life exhibition, where you have a solid analysis of the carbon footprint saving.
Okay. So a lot of research needs to be done still, because we all look for major breakthroughs, but I think there is some effort to be put in on research, and to make it clear, and also to make it more accessible for the broader public. So it's a research effort, but it's also a communication and promotion effort, and that's why we are there. We are the specialist for the bioeconomy communication. Thank you so much for all of you, to the attendees, to the speakers, to the presenters, and also to Marie and UK, who was the host of this session. Please stay tuned. We will have the next event on, as I already mentioned, on the 27th of September with a face-to-face communication workshop in Brussels. But we will also have other communication materials out, and we will continue with our webinar program. It's all announced on the Combibis website, combibis.eu, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks again and have a nice day. Goodbye.